that we look at Matthew Stafford and say it was because of him. We knew that he didn't have enough around him. We knew he was elite. He was an elite quarterback in the National Football League when the Detroit Lions were not winning games. Now think about the rarity of that, fellas and Shay. When you are a team and you have little to no success in the postseason, and everyone knows it's not the quarterback. Think about that. That's rare. That doesn't happen. But that's what we knew about in his first 12 years in the league when he threw for over 45,000 yards and had about 282 touchdowns to 144 interceptions. He gets traded to the Los Angeles Rams for Jared Goff to get a Super Bowl. And what does he do? He helps deliver a Super Bowl. And now here he is, 3 years later, so 37 years of age, bad back, supposedly, and all of this other stuff. Leading candidate for MVP right now. Okay? Do y'all know that this man has not thrown an interception since week 3? I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Over that span, he's thrown
his stats. That's all there was to it. And now he goes to the Rams, obviously, and those stats actually pay off with W. So let's ask this question now. Stafford right now is the favorite to win the MVP. Do you think it is Stafford and then a large gap with the rest of the quarterbacks in the NFC, or is there someone that's starting to catch up with him?
No, I'm not going to say it's a large gap because Dak Prescott is playing out of his mind right now. Dak Prescott is number one in QBR, and he has the number one offense in the entire NFL. George Pickens has as many receiving yards as the entire receiving corps for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott has been unbelievable this season.
Well, that ain't saying much.
Probably would be better if CeeDee Lamb.
And they haven't won many one-score games, but if you're going to tell me who's scary and you got to dial up the team that just always finds a way with Mahomes back there, they're scary to me as well.
Kansas City, what a great segue. We talked earlier about the Cowboys. Cowboys and Kansas City are going to face off against one another on Thanksgiving Day. And so was it a must-win for the Cowboys? Everyone here thought maybe not. They just got to win one of their next two. But now for Kansas City on the flip side, is Thursday a must-win against Dallas? What do you think, Casey?
No, it's not a must-win against Dallas. It's more of a must-win for them the week after that against the Houston Texans, which starts a streak of 5 straight.
Not to the board.
You're going to the board.
Yeah, I got to go to the board. So this Dallas Cowboys game, it's great for ratings. Not necessarily a gotta have it for the Kansas City Chiefs. This one right here is the one you got circled because the Kansas City Chiefs are looking up at the Houston Texans when it comes to playoff standings. If they're able to get that win, that's going to be a big one. The Chargers game as well, that's another one. The Chargers beat them the first game of the season down there in Brazil.
So win or loss against the Chargers?
I'm going to give them a win against the Chargers.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'm going to give them a win against the Tennessee Titans. What's understood ain't got to be said. This one becomes interesting against the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos got the best of them in Mile High. The Denver Broncos have played them really well the last few seasons. I'm going to actually give that game to the Denver Broncos, and then I'll give them the win against the Las Vegas Raiders. So that becomes the key to me. 10-7, it's right on the fringe of whether or not it gets them in. They're contending with teams like the Jacksonville Jaguars, like the LA Chargers, like the Buffalo Bills for those 3 playoff spots in the wild card. They're not going to be able to catch up with the Broncos in the division. So I think the Kansas City Chiefs have a path to get in, but they have no margin for error, and likely they're going to need some help.
So if they lose to the Cowboys and they lose to the Broncos, like Cece just said, that would give them a 66% chance to get in. Go ahead, Stephen A.
I believe they're beating the Cowboys. I believe they lose to the Texans, and then they run the table and win the rest of their game. Yeah. Here I am, coming at you live from something undiscovered.
Who do you think has more to gain at this point from winning a Super Bowl? Is it Matthew Stafford or Jalen Hurd? No, Jalen Hurst. I mean, I don't even think this is close at this point. You're talking about going back-to-back like that puts you in rare air anyway. And in not only the situation of being able to go back-to-back, but in the circumstances in which you will go back-to-back. I mean, last year, You think you had A.J. Brown reading a book on the sideline, and they catch heat and they take it all the way through. They end up beating Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Really not even a close game, and in him getting the MVP and being able to take his team back there after all the scrutiny that he's faced this season with. You know, A.J. Brown in the tweets and people being upset, and can he do it? Can he not do it? And I look back at this and I go, man, all this guy does is win. And so when you think about the situation that his team is in, he has carried this team. He's done all the things right for this football team. And I think you go back to back as Super Bowl champions. You're in a class all by yourself. And not only doing that, doing it in Philly under one of the most pressure-packed markets in the world and playing with people who have been upset dang near the whole season. I say, man, you have outdone yourself, sir. So, I think if you look at it in totality, I would say that he has the most to gain from this win. Well, I'm going to say Matt Stafford because his Hall of Fame case would be made if he finds a way to be able to win a Super Bowl. That gives him 2 championships since he arrived in LA in 2021. He was able to microwave the first one the first year he got there, but then being able to get back to the championship rounds and find a way to get some more hardware, get another crack at being able to get a chance to win Super Bowl MVP, I think that makes the case for Matt Stafford being in the Hall of Fame. And to me, that is the pinnacle of pro football. It's not winning a Super Bowl. It's having your name enshrined in Canton. And Matt Stafford absolutely has an opportunity to do that with another ring. You look at his passing numbers. His top 10 in the major statistical categories. So, he'll have those numbers, but it's just a matter of him being able to add a little more hardware to his resume because Matt Stafford right now, he doesn't have any All-Pros. You know what I'm saying? And he's only got a couple of Pro Bowls, but if he's able to get another Super Bowl on his resume, then all of a sudden now he's a Hall of Famer. Yeah, that's an interesting. I wasn't even thinking Hall of Fame wise for sure. I think that's a great point. Like I would not have thought Matt, you know, but to your point cause because there's only one starting quarterback that has won multiple Super Bowls that's not in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, as a starter, right? And that's Jim Plunkett. That's it. You win multiple Super Bowls, you get in the Hall. Who has more to gain from winning? Stephen A. What do you think? The Eagles and Jalen Hurts or Matthew Stafford and the Rams? I think it's Stafford. I think when you see the kind of an incredible a year that he's having in Los Angeles this year, I think you have to take into account some of the conditions. The numbers are there when you look at what he's passed for in his career. He's thrown for, over 60,000 yards and all of this other stuff. His first year in his first 12 years in Detroit. Think about how much this franchise struggled and what 0 postseason success they had. At no time did we look at Matthew Stafford and say it was because of him. We knew that he didn't have enough around him. We knew he was elite. He was an elite quarterback in the National Football League when the Detroit Lions were not winning games. Now, think about the rarity of that, fellas. And Shay, when you are a team and you have little to no success in a postseason and everyone knows it's not the quarterback. Think about that. That's rare. That doesn't happen. That's what we knew about in his first 12 years in the league when he threw for over 45,000 yards and had about 282 touchdowns to 144 interceptions. He gets traded to the Los Angeles Rams for Jared Goff to get a Super Bowl. And what does he do? He helps deliver a Super Bowl. And now here he is 3 years later or so, 37 years of age, bad back supposedly, and all of this other stuff. Leading candidate for MVP right now. Okay. Do you all know that this man has not thrown an interception since week 3? I think that's what it is. Yeah. Over that span, he's thrown 25 touchdowns and no interceptions. I mean, the guy is having a spectacular season. We know what game he can bring to the table. But to back that up with a second Super Bowl championship, first of all, it's not just going to cement him, as a champion and a Hall of Famer. He's going to go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen. When he was with the Lions, think about it. To add on, think about it. Yeah. To add on to Stephen A's point, when he was with the Lions and I was covering the Bears, we used to call him Pad Stafford because that's what we felt like he was doing with the Lions was just padding his stats. That's all there was to it. And now he goes to the Rams obviously, and those stats actually pay off with W. So let's ask this question now. Stafford right now is the favorite to win the MVP. Do you think it is Stafford and then a large gap with the rest of the quarterbacks in the NFC, or is there someone that's starting to catch up with him? No, I'm not going to say it's a large gap because Dak Prescott is playing out of his mind right now. Dak Prescott is number 1 in QBR and he has the number 1 offense in the entire NFL. George Pickens has as many receiving yards as the entire receiving court for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. Like the Dak Prescott has been unbelievable this season. Probably would be better if CD Lamb, his number 1 wide receiver, could catch the damn ball. So, I mean, yeah, Dak Prescott, what he's been able to do in terms of shepherding this team through adverse circumstances, the best player on the team being traded at the eve of the season, the tragic passing of Marshawn Nealon to find ways to be able to keep this thing afloat, for the Dallas Cowboys to even be in the conversation for the postseason this year at this point is a testament to the greatness that Dak Prescott has displayed this year. So, even though I would still give the nod to Matt Stafford in terms of who's having the better season, sure, that Prescott is right there. Yeah. When you start talking about large guests, I mean, even Sam Darnold, like you think about the numbers that they put up in Seattle, I mean, these guys are playing good football. Like, don't just get all B and here's the thing. You're talking about Sean McVay and an explosive offense and all the piece and parts. Like, Dak Prescott's had a bad defense that he's had to play with, right? So, you flip it around like the Seahawks have given Sam Darnold and JSN all these opportunities. They're taking full advantage. I mean, Sam Darnold might break a Calvin Johnson's record with a JSN. We got 6 weeks left and the playoff races are heating up with some unlikely teams on the outside looking in. The Texans have won 3 straight to stay in the playoff hunt with the Chiefs and Lions getting huge comeback wins on Sunday to stay alive. And so, cunty, here we are. Week 13. Week 13, right, in the NFL coming up.